and welcome to 6 Ways to Sunday. My name is Dave. I'm the card-carrying cryptozoologist, the geographer of all of your graphs and furs. And joining me is my favorite photographer general, the son of a Mothman, Austin O'Connor. How you doing, Austin?
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing very well. There's a lot of new things that we need to go over.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new name. That's one of the things that we need to go over. So I just changed this entirely on you. I'm just kidding. We both decided this. We felt like I guess my reasoning is like Vault Boys and the whole aspect of like it being very Fallout centric, I suppose.
Yeah,
it's very strange. And so we decided to go ahead and change it, and we changed it to a thing that we say at the end of every episode that we've been saying, I guess, for years. We've been doing this for years.
Mm-hmm.
We've been podcast extraordinary. How do you feel about that? Years.
It doesn't feel like it's been years, but yeah, it's been years. It's really strange. I don't know. Yeah, I was thinking the other day, like when I had moved to Charleston, and I was like, man, that was, 3+ years ago now. Like it's kind of wild. I don't know. But yeah, definitely feels weird to change things up, even though we've done it before. For some reason, this time it feels odd.
Different. But the funny thing is that I think that there's problems that we had before where I think that we like did too hard of turns. Like we were like, okay, we're gonna change everything, and this week we're just changing the name, and like the exact everything else is the same old situation.
Same,
we haven't talked about Fallout except in passing since we've like started. That hasn't been anything that we've been focused on. And so this is more just like instead of like coming off of it and saying we've got a new name, we've got all of this new stuff. It's like this week it's just the name and some graphics.
Baby steps.
Every week is an improvement. That's my mindset. It's like if I can go into something and improve one thing about it every week, I feel like that's like some good stuff. Like that's some like positive affirmation. Like write that down and like record that on like a tape and then play it for yourself in the morning as you're taking your GeoPrism to work, and it's 1999 and you're in the GeoPrism.
It's a good callback.
It is a good callback.
Yeah.
My sister had a GeoPrism, and it was a clunker. It was a tank.
Geos those are real treasures, I think. Mm-hmm. Seeing one of those on the road today it's
a rarity.
Yeah.
A rarity indeed. Let's see. I think that's all just that. There's no other real announcement other than, hey, we changed the name. Do you have any announcements? Do you have any announcements that you want to make?
It's good to be back.
Yeah.
We've been gone for a few weeks. It feels good to be back.
There's so much news that we missed.
I know. I'm excited to get into this. I told you before we started that was our little background here has me quite intrigued because you haven't told me what we're bringing to the show on your end today.
No, and you send me the stories, and I don't read your stories. I just read the headline, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, I just don't read your stories.
Oh, no, I wait for them on the show. I want to have like a genuine reaction to certain things.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
fair.
It's like I want to be there in the moment with you, and I don't necessarily want to be like pre-prepped and have some like, canned response. But
right.
So I don't read the stories. The other change thing that I thought was funny is I looked at podcasts are like categorized. So there's like a category for like video games. There's a category for like history. There's and now we are categorized as, and the best thing that I could possibly find for the show, entertainment news.
Entertainment news.
So we are now competing against other entertainment news shows.
Oh, that's okay. All right.
So, I'm not sure how big that playing field is, but out of
I would imagine pretty big.
out of all of the different things that I've seen, I'd imagine that that's going to be pretty small, and we're going to take over the world. You know?
Let's do it. Let's just do it. Let's go for it. I'm here. I'm ready for anything.
I'm ready as well. There's also one more thing I wanted to mention. I had a run-in recently. I decided to.
Oh boy!
I decided.
I know where this is going.
You probably already know. Yeah, I ran into a special lady. I was going to my dad recently turned 70. It was a big birthday party, and I ran into a certain lady. This Dixie O'Connor lady, and talked to her for a good bit. I did say though that she went before I tell the story, the real story. I will say that they were getting up to speak. You know, it's like you ding the little glass and you say a nice word about whoever the person, like the married couple or whatever. They were doing that for my dad, and so Dixie stood up to speak. And when she stood up, I yelled, like she started speaking, and then I yelled, "Okay, actually stand up." And everybody laughed, and then she felt a little bad, and then I felt a little bad.
Old Dixie.
And then, well, before that, she pulled me aside and she said, "Now, there's a story I want you to tell about Austin."
Oh, yeah.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't want to tell the story because I want your version of the story, and then I'll just correct you.
No, you go ahead and tell it because she didn't tell me what she told you.
Oh, she didn't tell you what she told me. Okay,
you the story. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but I have an idea which one it is, and I would just like for you to tell it.
Sure. Well, you can correct me because I probably, this was in it was in a high activity area, and I may miss some details. But there's this place called Welch, West Virginia, which is where your family's from. It's where my family's from as well.
This is the story.
And you decided to go out for a lovely meal at the KFC down in Welch. And while you were standing at the counter, ready to order your food. You decided to pull your pants down to your ankles.
Well, no, it wasn't at the counter.
It wasn't at the counter. See, I've already got that part wrong.
No, we were sitting at the table eating, and I stood up in the chair, and I pulled my pants all the way down, just bare ass, all the way down.
And you sang a song as well.
Well, Nana said, "Austin, what are you doing?" and made me pull my pants back up. And I said to her, "Nana, I just wanted to hear you sing, 'I see your hiney, it's so bright and shiny.'" I was like 3 years old. And I have never once lived that story down. I am 28 in 2 days? And she still tells that story, as you can see. I'm proud of it, honestly. I have no regrets.
I mean, that takes some confidence, you know.
Yeah,
that
just
takes,
let it all hang out.
That takes some confidence. And but here's the thing. Like, we both have a mutual acquaintance that has a carabiner tattooed on his butt, and if you ask him to show you the tattoo, which we always do, he will always show you his butt in public, not like over here to the side.
Yeah.
It's like the dude pulls his pants down. This dude is our age.
Well, see, I didn't realize that he had that until recently, and everyone was like, "Oh, you haven't seen it?" And I was like, "No."
It's like everybody's seen his butt. So I mean,
it was it was cool to see. I liked it. It was a nice butt. It was a nice tattoo.
So I mean, I would recommend you to bring back this bit from when you were 3, and to be able to be like, "Guys, do you want to hear a song?"
See, it's cute when a 3-year-old does it.
Is that the case?
It's an arrest when a 28-year-old does it in the middle of KFC. So
why the KFC choice? Like, what was
I don't know. You know, going back to 1996, I can't really recall 100% what was going through my head, but I just said KFC's the place to do this, and I let it all hang out.
You got to sing songs about your bright and shiny hiney.
Well, she would. I guess when I was little, she would sing that like.
Uh-huh.
Like she would say that if I was like taking a bath or something. I was like 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Like it was just funny, I guess. And
I'm not knocking the song. I'm not really knocking any of this. I'm
Great
just retelling.
Song.
I'm just
It's
retelling.
a banger. But I, for some reason, thought I'm going to pull my pants down in this KFC, and I just did it. And I was just like, and like I said, yeah, she hasn't let me live that down. I would have loved to have seen the security footage of that because I could only imagine that she probably like lost her mind and like yanked me up to get me out of there.
Probably. That's probably.
But here's the thing. So she told that story.
Uh-huh.
I was done telling Dixie stories, but I got one for her if you want to hear it.
I'm very prepared for a Dixie story.
My grandmother, she stole someone's dog one time. In Roanoke, Virginia, straight off their porch. Stole it. Took it home with her.
Okay, the context. What's the context?
Okay, well, I'll give you the context. There's got to
be some context, but she sounds like a bandit. Why is she being the Roanoke
pretty
bandit?
Much was.
Stealing these poor people. You know how much I love my dogs? If some old lady was going to steal a dog off my backyard or whatever, I'd be chasing her down the street.
Basically, she was staying at my aunt's house in Roanoke, and they had a Yorkie named Lily. So Lily, the Yorkie, got out one day, and Nana was home, and my aunt and uncle were not home. Mm-hmm. So she went chasing after Lily, and she finds Lily on the porch of another person's house, like 2 streets up on another road. So she goes up, picks Lily up, walks right back down the street with Lily, throws her into the house, goes back inside, and like 5 minutes later, she looks and notices that there are 2 Yorkies sitting in the hallway. Lily had not gotten out. She thought she had gotten out. Lily had been in the house the whole time. Nana walked up and saw another dog that looked like Lily and stole it off of a woman's porch. So she had to walk the dog 2 streets back up to this house. And there was a woman outside, and she said, "Yeah, I saw you walk away with her, and I thought she was just." I said, "She's gone forever." This woman saw my grandmother pick this dog up off her porch and just leave, and was like accepting of the fact that my grandma had just stolen her dog, and she would never see it again. So.
People are weird about what's acceptable, you know. Like if I were this woman, I'd be like, "Hey, what the hell?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?"
She just let Nana walk off with the dog, so Nana stole someone's dog. Not on purpose, but she still stole a dog.
She's the Roanoke dog napper. I've decided that she's the terror of Roanoke. The Roanoke
she's
dog
the terror
napper.
of Roanoke. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But there's more stories. That
I'm sure.
If she wants to play that game, we can play that game.
I'm sure. I
feel like I've taken it easy on her here recently.
Oh yeah. Well,
we can play that game.
Well, I think this has been like the Dixie Power Hour, and I'm just here for it. I'm just excited by it. All of that is just so much for me. Mm-hmm. But I think, and I realize I don't have this prepped yet. So I'm gonna need you. Here's what I'm gonna tell you about while I'm getting this all prepped up.
Yeah.
So I had a person come in my backyard. And just start patting my dogs at the gate, just like a random person, just trying to pet the dogs at the gate. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't outside, and my wife was my wife, and then she goes up. She's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she was like, "Oh, is this Holly and John?" And she's like, "No, what are you doing back here?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And they just walk away.
So they were like fully in your backyard.
They were like right at the gate, and like,
oh, okay.
You have
I thought they had.
No, they hadn't like come in the back. They were right at the gate, like reaching over the fence. And in order to get and this is not like my backyard. Like you have to like go past my entire house back to I can only get to my backyard. Like there's like a side entrance, but like nobody else can get to the backyard unless they start like hopping fences and doing a bunch of different stuff. So I don't understand why. I don't really understand why people just find it like, acceptable to go and pet the dogs, steal the dogs, you know? Like, I mean, we really need to discipline Dixie at this point. I mean, I'm sure that the Roanoke police are looking for her. But that's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I have to think that if she wouldn't have done that, if she wouldn't have taken the dog back, there might have actually been a real problem legally. Like, they probably would have been looking for her. But I don't know.
I mean, it's a real possibility. It's a real possibility.
Yeah. Vault Boys will be back after the break.
Wow.
Let's talk about Big Jake.
Let's talk about Big Jake. Let's talk about him.
Tallest horse.
Let's talk about him.
Big Jake, which is the only way that you can say Big Jake. You can't not say
Big Jake.
Big Jake. Is a 20-year-old Belgian, which is the breed of the horse. Apparently lived in Smoky Hollow Farm in Poynetty, Poynetty, which I'm not really sure where that is. In Wisconsin. That's in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Of course, it's in Wisconsin.
Of course, everything like this is in Wisconsin.
So he was 20 years old, I think, right? Yeah, 20 years old, and he died. And I didn't know that there was like I had assumed that there's like, oh, this is the biggest horse, but like we know the tallest human and the shortest human. Like that's like a thing that we see in the Guinness World Record. Well, this is a thing that's in the Guinness World Record book. So he was born, and when he was born, he weighed 240 pounds. 240 pounds. This horse weighed when he was born.
Damn.
That's a Big Jake right there.
Big Jake.
Big Jake.
Big Jake is like the Wario to Lil Sebastian's Mario. Like,
I mean, that's a perfect descriptor.
He just like what? So how big did he get like in life and prime? Does it say in the article?
It does not say, but there's a graphic, and let me see if I can get the
graphic. If they call him
graphic.
Big Jake, he's got to be like noticeably large, right?
I suppose.
Measuring just over 6 feet 10 inches or
6 feet 10 inches tall.
Hands. So that is in striking contrast with.
So okay, 6 feet 10 inches tall, which you could see from the girl that was standing beside the horse. So that's the size of 2 full guitars, standing upright. But then I learned that there is the smallest horse in the world, whose name is Thumbelina. And Thumbelina.
The Thumbelina, who measured 17 and a half.
Is a oh God, I missed it. Thumbelina is a tiny horse. Let me see if I can go back to it. There we go. Yeah. Right there. That is the tiny horse meeting the bigger horse.
That's amazing.
So the tiniest horse in the world met the biggest horse in the world.
Yeah.
And why did we not know? Why was this not like on national news?
I don't know.
Why didn't they?
I feel like, they didn't give us Big Jake content when they could have. And that is a tragedy.
What are we people like? What are we going to do?
We missed out on Big Jake. And that's just, I don't know. I would have loved to have known Big Jake. Maybe gone to see Big Jake. Think of the tourism. Come see Big Jake.
Come see Big Jake. How big is Big Jake? He big.
It's about the only thing that could get me to Wisconsin.
I mean, yeah. No offense to the Wisconsins, but your mascot died. Like, I mean, this is the pride and joy of the cheese state, you know?
Well, R.I.P. Big Jake. Big Jake.
All right. Moving on past Big Jake over here. So there was an owner of a prehistoric Simpsons House in Hillsborough, California, which you can see from the background as well, what it looked like.
Yeah.
So there apparently was this lawsuit where the town sued the owner of the house to say that the house was not. It broke all the laws, you know. And when you look at the house, let me go back to our waiting room here. I mean, when you I said that, and there I go back to it. And here we go back to the thing. When you look at that house and see it, you realize that it's probably not the most two-code house in the whole wide world, you know?
But if you think about it, isn't that BS that we have to answer to somebody about about our houses? I mean, it is, but it isn't. Because it is safety.
Safety,
but
right?
If you built it to live in it yourself, I think the problem should only come into play when you sell it.
Yeah, but there's zoning laws. There's and that's been a thing, you know, a newer thing in the past, well, I'm just making this up, but in the past 100 years, there's zoning laws, and it's you have to have your house up to code so that you couldn't sell a house. You could deceive somebody and be like, this house has a terrible foundation, and deceive somebody and sell it, and then they're up Poop Creek. I don't know why I censored myself for that, but I totally did. So apparently they went to court in 2019. So they said that Hillsborough, the town in California, prides itself on its rural, woodsy feel. And rules are in place so, quote, neighbors don't have to look at your version of what you would like to have, and you don't have to look at theirs.
I like that.
So let's see. Fang is the guy that owns it is gonna have to apply for building permits. But the town has to pay this person $125,000. And I mean, court. You know, I'm no lawyer. I'm just a small town, crooked lawyer here. But this seems like a total mess. I mean, look at this. They have tiny versions of the Flintstone characters, and okay, I get it. I understand that, but there's a carriage there. There's no carriages in the Flintstones. They have the car. And the car is the little car that they pick up, and then they go yabba dabba doo, and they run with their feet, and then they take off.
This is kind of like the type of thing that would happen in real life with the movie Big. But if the kid grew up in the 70s,
yeah,
they would just make a Flintstone house and just I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to think of all the things to spend probably a lot of money on to recreate. The Flintstones house is one of those that I just wouldn't have expected.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's I saw this and I was like, this isn't a real thing. This isn't a real place. And it's not out there. So in West Virginia we have the mystery hole, and we have some weird stuff. This is in a town in California.
Now, if they could get it to code, that would probably be a killer Airbnb.
You know what? That would be. That would be. I mean, they could pretty much make a tourist attraction out of that if they really wanted to,
Yeah, pretty much.
Come to the Flintstones house. You could just do tours,
Yeah, just get it to code and you're set at that point.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
I don't know.
All right. I don't have any major discussion point other than both of my
you just
stories
have to see that.
Are stand in awe of Big Jake in the Flintstone house. Those are my stories. If you're not standing in awe of those things, then I'm sorry for you, sir.
I respect that.
All right. Let's move on to some of the wonderful things. Oh, this is my other one. I forgot I had this.
What?
So apparently, in Florida, they what would the Florida man eat? This tiki bar says it involves a special trailer sauce.
That is a scary way to word things.
So it has Florida man pizza. You can get a 12 or 16 inch. It has fried gator, banana pepper, and our special trailer sauce.
What's in the trailer sauce?
So they asked him. Let's see. I think they. Let's see. What's in trailer sauce? Let's do a. I don't feel like reading through the whole thing live, but special trailer sauce. I think I read it before, and it doesn't say what the special trailer sauce is. Like, they won't exactly give that information out freely.
What's in it? What's in the trailer sauce?
If you could make up, this is the point. If you could make up a special trailer sauce for the Florida Man pizza, what would it be? What would be the trailer sauce?
There would be some variation of like yum yum sauce from a Japanese restaurant.
Yeah.
Zesty sauce from Burger King.
Zesty. What's a zesty sauce from Burger King? What is that?
It's hard to explain, but you know it when you see it.
Okay.
So probably some like horsey sauce from Arby's. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Throw a little bit of that in there, and then just a dab of Mountain Dew on top of it,
and just like whisk that all together.
And then you just do like a little pour over of Mountain Dew.
Oh, like that seems pretty multicultural. You know, you've got yum yum sauce. You've got, Arby's. That's like, out there.
Yeah, maybe some Bojangles sauce. Maybe that'll look in there too.
It's bow time. Bojangles, hey, recently celebrated like 100 years or something like that.
Happy birthday to the love of my life. Yeah.
Your favorite fast food restaurant. And I will say,
nah, not my favorite, but it's up there. It's up there.
What do you mean?
Just for the nostalgia of it, just growing up around North Carolina, just that. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. Just because,
Well, then what's your favorite? I feel like I've just like really asked the correct question, and I'm like grilling you now.
I think if I had to say favorite fast food, that's tough. Because it really can vary. From like just like an overall standpoint of like what you can get, Cookout is up there. I will say that Cookout is up there because like you can go so many different ways. Zaxby's and Cane's are up there kind of together with each other.
Whoa. Stop right there, sir. Zaxby's?
Dude, Zaxby's is
amazing. No.
Stop.
There's zoodles and there's salad and there's soda.
You're going too far. All you need at Zaxby's is either a chicken sandwich or the chicken strip basket with the Zax sauce, a little bit of coleslaw, fries, crinkle fries.
I dare you to go to Zaxby's and try to get a meal without Texas toast. I dare you.
Oh yeah, the Texas toast is amazing. Same at Cane's. Cane's with that Texas toast. Why don't you need it? That is my question. There's not a reason not to need it. Listen. Cane's and Zaxby's are up there for me. I'm trying to think. It's tough, but I would have to probably, Bojangles is up there, but only when they have the pimento cheese option. When you can add pimento cheese to a Cajun biscuit,
yeah, when you can add pimento cheese to pretty much anything, that's
so
like
good.
That's like one of the best things the South has come up with. Least favorite thing is cottage cheese. That's my least favorite thing.
Not a fan of that.
That the South has come up with.
I don't know. What's your favorite fast food? That's a tough question. I will say this: In-N-Out is overrated. I will throw that out there. It's good, but it's overrated.
In-N-Out's whatever. My favorite fast food? Here's the thing. You really, and it depends on what you want. Like, you really can't go wrong with McDonald's. Like, McDonald's has a particular taste.
It's always been there for you. It's like, never really,
It has a particular taste. It has a particular texture. Generally, you go anywhere, and you can get the exact same tasting McDonald's.
No, that's true.
But the thing it also has going for it weird is when you try to order a McFlurry, don't ever do that because it's always going to be broken.
Always, yeah.
But if you want chicken, I think Bojangles has the best chicken. I think and I've had all the chicken sandwiches.
It's tough.
I've had all the chicken sandwiches.
Now, Popeye's chicken sandwich is the best in my opinion.
The
spicy chicken sandwich. Not the normal one, the spicy one.
Here's the thing. I heard all this thing about the spicy chicken sandwich from Popeyes. I heard all this stuff. I've been hyping myself up, right? And I go to have it, and I feel like I hype myself up too much. And I'm like, oh.
That happens. That was me with In-N-Out. I hyped In-N-Out up too much. Tried it. It was good, but I was like...
Yeah, it was fine. They had a nice fresh pickle on the Popeye sandwich. That was nice. Mm-hmm. I like that. And like... But Wendy's, you go to a Wendy's, you can get like an actual... like piece of meat, like chicken meat on your spicy chicken sandwich. But the end all be all. I mean, let's not kid ourselves here. The end all be all for fast food, and the only fast food you really need is Taco Bell, and that's true.
Taco Bell's always there for you, and they have an app which I recently started using.
They have seasonal menus. They bring back
most of them have items, apps. But yeah, they
and the Taco Bell. If you go to a newer Taco Bell, here's the thing. We have a newer Taco Bell in the neighborhood, and I don't know what this has to do with trailer park sauce, but I would imagine it would be some Diablo sauce from Taco Bell mixed with a little bit of store-bought potato salad, like mixed up a little
store-bought potato salad.
With the Diablo sauce, and then get a little bit of 7-Up. Big K 7-Up.
The Big K 7-Up, okay.
And then, like, mix that all around. But Taco Bell is the best. And if you get a newer one, they generally have that good corporate training. You know, you get that good corporate training.
Yeah,
and it's absolutely delicious.
Okay. I mean, that's solid. Like I said, sometimes the basics. You know, Wendy's, McDonald's, Taco Bell. Sometimes, you know, like I said, they've never turned their back on us.
That's true.
So, but honestly, Burger King, apparently, haven't tried it. Chicken sandwich there, apparently not bad. Need to try it out.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed with all of these. What are these? I was about to say all of these sit-down restaurants. I guess they are. I guess they could be sit-down restaurants if they really, wanted to be.
Restaurants.
Wanted them restaurants. So yeah, I think we've fully gone through the special trailer sauce for the Florida Man pizza. Although fried gator is pretty good, but
yeah,
I don't know about on a pizza. Let's move on a little bit here. Larger than a football field and growing, sinkhole has swallowed one house and 2 dogs. Look at that! Look at that thing. So you brought this in today.
That's a big boy. That's a big boy. Now the article is more so a listen.
A listen.
So we're not going to listen to it, but seeing this. You know, a large sinkhole has been growing at a farm in Mexico since May. It's already swallowed a house, 2 dogs who had to be rescued, and 2 dogs had to be rescued from the hole last week. It kind of just made me start thinking, and I think that we've talked about this in a recent episode probably, maybe. But the earth is really scary when you in a lot of ways. But sinkholes and caves, I think, are some of the scariest things to me because I feel like a lot of times they don't really make sense. Like at Bluefield High School, where I went to high school, once a year they had to repave like a whole half of the parking lot because it would just go down throughout the year. They would sink in spots because it was Bluefield built over a cave. So I always had this fear that the school was just going to collapse into the cave, but really Bluefield as a whole is built on a cave system.
Yeah,
which is unsettling. Like I had friends that would go into these caves in high school. Like they would go down into these caves, and there's all these TikToks now, and these Twitter posts and Reddit posts about missing person cases in the U.S. and its correlation to the U.S. cave system. Like where the people went missing and where the U.S. cave system is. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it is just like shock value, TikTok views stuff.
Right.
But it is kind of creepy when you think about all of these things under the earth and how there could just be these like feral humans that live there. Yeah. And we don't really know what's down there. Like there could be a whole colony of whatever. And I think that's what I brought up in one of the last episodes, but this kind of like furthered that for me of like, it's scary that things can sink down into the earth like that, just sink. But it's also scary what's already down there to me.
I mean, I don't know what would be down there. Like that's like falling in a sinkhole. Like obviously very scary. But what would be? What do you think would be down there? What are you?
I think that there could be in
like
these tunnel systems. Yeah, man. We really don't know. And think about if they've been down there for a long time, evolutionary, like how they could have changed from like feral humans into that. Like, it's creepy. Now, I will say, I think we probably would have had more proof of them by now, just with how much people have gone out to explore. But I don't know. Or these cave systems, it's just like a cryptid highway,
A cryptid highway, the highway that the cryptids take, and that's how they get the places. And they it's like in Stranger Things where they have like the little caves, and then people fall in the caves, and then they're in them, and then if you go to the end of the cave, I mean that's just like going to the upside down.
Pretty much.
I mean that could be a case. It's funny that you said that because the high school that I went to that is also in Bluefield. It was built on top of a sinkhole, and some of the classrooms in like the 60s fell in and just like fell, like, and dropped like, I don't know, like 3 feet, like just in one day, and people were hurt. Nobody died, but people were hurt. It's like, imagine sitting somewhere and then it's just like immediately, it's like you're on a Disney World ride. Like, now we're going to drop you.
Learning Spanish, and then like you see the teacher go flying through the floor, like,
yep.
I don't know, man, but that's just always seeing the parking lot just kind of depressed down. Anytime I drove over that, I was like, am I just going to go flying through the earth right now? Like, what's going to happen? And I think it's eventually going to happen. I really do.
Well, it was weird. It was weird at Grant because like there was this block that they put in the hallway that was on the ground, and it was this big block. And my parents were teachers there, and went to high school there in the 60s or whatever. And I was like, what's this block? And they're like, oh, that's how you get down into the caves. And I'm like,
you could just go into the caves from the school.
Yes, you could. And the block was not like, you couldn't move, like you needed special equipment to move the block. So I think it was there for like, just in case like somebody fell into the caves. But the fact that they had like a little cave door that they could like,
that's
if they had
a
the
little
right
unsettling.
It's kind of wild. And I was always like, well, maybe that's where the Bat Cave is, and maybe that's where like the Bat Cave, the real goings and comings of the school. That's where they that's where teachers were doing their lesson plans.
Lesson plans.
Well, this is a very big sinkhole, but it also looks like a impromptu swimming pool. Yeah,
we love stuff that's We love things that can have many purposes.
I agree. Have you ever thought? I'm thinking about getting one. I'm thinking about getting an inflatable swimming pool. I don't know if I told you about this. I'm thinking about getting one. No, like a 24-incher, right? And it has a little thing. I'm going to get like a little, a little tarp to put under it. Go out there, have the inflatable swimming pool, and it's like big enough for maybe like one person to sit in, But like, it's hot here. Like I always say this. Yeah. It's like I expected moving north that it would be less hot, but it's like Savannah, Georgia, New Orleans level of hot and humidity.
Yeah. Well, you moved north, but you moved down.
I moved down, and they're like, "Oh, West Virginia's in the mountains." I'm like, "Yeah, but nobody lives in the mountains. Everyone lives in the valleys."
Yeah. I want to move to the mountains, though. That's where I would like to be.
I mean, yeah, that's way cooler. Nobody bothers you as much.
Right?
And the actual mountains, like, here's the thing. Like, we don't have very tall mountains here in, like, Charleston, Huntington, like, that area. Not very tall, but very steep. Like, weirdly steep, so you can't build anything on them. They're not, like, hills. They're, like, mountains that are small that are just too steep to do anything on. As opposed to ones that are out probably in the eastern part of the state, like where you've got like even like up north, you got like Thomas, and I mean even like in Bluefield is a good example.
Yeah.
That you actually have these like mountains that are very large. Like you have some of the like Blue Ridge, I guess, area.
Yeah.
And that's where you want to live. I mean, that's the,
100%. Yeah.
Get that good weather.
Oh yeah. Nice 75, 80 tops every day. Just nice breeze.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's move on here. UFO report: no sign of aliens, but 143 mystery objects defy explanation. Okay.
See, yeah, this is. I mean, so we don't. You know, I don't know. All right, we've been talking about this like every week. Aliens. I've been bringing aliens back into this.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed. But after reading this, I'm not as disappointed. Okay. So, you know, as you just said, UFO report, no sign of aliens. So they didn't confirm. The U.S. government report said that it found no evidence of aliens, but it acknowledged 143 reports of unidentified aerial phenomena since 2004 that could not be explained. It talked about Navy pilots reported seeing UFOs, filming some of them off the east coast of the U.S. in 2014, 2015. The pilots have spoken publicly. They said that the objects moved with exceptional speed, agility, acceleration that they had never seen before, and in some incidents, the pilots said the objects went underwater. So something weird's going on there. But it just... This to me reads like the government is like... weird shit's going on, but we can't tell you for sure it's an alien. But weird shit's going on, so it's like still kind of leading us in the right direction. Right. But it's. I mean, but even like it says, Marco Rubio, like a human garbage bag from Florida, even said that this was good. He's pushing for more study in this. Yeah. And he said this report is an important first step in cataloging these incidents, but it is just a first step. So they've got the Defense Department in on it. Government officials are in on it. People are like really kind of leaning into this finally. But I like that they're calling it unidentified aerial phenomena. Because that just sounds like more, you know.
That sounds like there's like a dancing phenomena sweeping the nation, and it's like there's an unusual area phenomena sweeping the nation, like that. Yeah, it kind of has like a strange.
Well, the thing is, it's just like I said, like it feels like they don't want to say. It's kind of like when like hand sanitizer says it like kills 99.9% of all germs. Yeah, it's just so they can't be like, well, I still got sick. Like with this, they can't say it's for sure aliens, but because then like they could still maybe be wrong. But like they're like, yeah, some weird shit's going on.
Yeah, and just being like, there's no aliens, but there's 143 like mystery things in the sky. It's like saying, okay, well, we heard some quacking, and there's some feathers on the ground, and maybe, you know, we saw something in the distance, but we couldn't make it out. But it's definitely not ducks. There's no ducks. We did not see any ducks, but we heard there was mystery quack sound.
Yeah. It is interesting. I think, I mean, we say this every week. There's no way we're alone. There's just no way. And I think that there are probably civilizations out there that are older than us that are being able to travel to us. But I also think there's civilizations out there that no one's found yet that can't travel yet, that are probably behind us.
Right.
Think about different places that have formed. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I've been really all in on aliens. I watched that movie, The Tomorrow War, that just came out with Chris Pratt the other day.
Yeah, with one of the Chris's. Yeah.
One of the Chris's. Yeah. It was pretty enjoyable. I mean, a lot of plot holes, but it was one of those kind of similar to a Fast and Furious movie where you just go in with an open mind and you want to have fun. But the aliens were pretty terrifying. And then I watched a movie last night called The Watch, which is like 9 years old. Okay. I hadn't seen it yet, but it had Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller and Jonah Hill. It was about aliens. Aliens in that were pretty terrifying. And I started thinking like, what type of aliens do we want? Like, do we want them to look like us? Do we want them to look like the weird balloon-shaped head aliens? Or, like, do we want them to just... what do we think? What do you think they're going to look like?
What do I think? I think that they'll probably look like us. If we communicate with aliens, I feel like that they probably look like us. This is when it's like, okay, like if we like fly, if our ships, there's another ship, and it may not look like one of our ships, or it may be some sort of like different thing, but they're going to look similar to us, like Star Trek, like the variants of things that you see on there. I feel like that's going to be the case.
Yeah.
But if you think about dimensions and like living in, in the third dimension and the fourth dimension, and there's like, if the string theory is correct, and there's a bunch of like there could be beings in other dimensions or multi-dimensional beings, and that kind of throws all of the logic outside of the window.
Yeah. To what you were saying, so if they do look like us, that's interesting, because if they do, they could very well have been here for a very long time and we don't know. Think about like integrating themselves into our society.
Right.
If they look like us, maybe that's why we see all these UFOs, but we've never seen an alien. Maybe they are here. And maybe I'm going to get murdered in my sleep tonight for just saying that. Maybe we just unlocked something that we shouldn't have.
I mean, maybe. This is like, what is it? Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where that's an old movie.
But I mean, it is interesting to think, like, I mean, if I was an alien and I knew that this planet I was going to, that they looked exactly like me, that's what I would do. Yeah, you saw my ship, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But like, I would just try to go out into society. No one's going to think any differently. And then boom, you're good.
So how would you try to like, okay, so you're an alien you're an alien from outer space. What are like the first like 5 things you got to do? It's like, okay, I've observed, like, what do you got to do? What's key to like blending into the human world?
Get a cell phone.
Okay. Look at it. Just like look at it nonstop. When your eyes are not doing something, look at the cell phone. You'll blend in.
Yeah. I would probably, I'd go to a super populated city.
Okay.
Because if you go to a small town, people are going to be like, haven't seen that person before. Mm-hmm. Go to a big city. Make sure just dress. Try to look at what other people are wearing. Okay. Dress like that, obviously. Okay. And then, I don't know. I mean, you got to think, if you don't know these things, like, it's easy for me to say this is what you should do. But like, let's say we go to another planet, you know, what that, I don't know. It's just, I
would try to watch people. Or if they had like it's like how people learn different languages by like watching entertainment media and like learning, like if they had any kind of like form of media, I think I would want to like ultra consume that and let that be.
Just get on Twitter. Yeah.
Or let that be my job is to be like, oh, this is what people do and this is what people say. Like when somebody sneezes, you say bless you for some unearthly reason that I'm not quite sure. Like there's like little societal things that probably you'll need to learn. I think that like consuming a lot of media would be good.
That's true. As much media as possible, but what if they consume the wrong media and they turn into like e-boys, like from TikTok, and they just are super cringe?
Have you considered?
Maybe that's what's going on.
Maybe that's what's going on.
I don't know. But the UFO thing, again, I just think that we're going to keep pushing forward. And I hope and pray in our lifetime we have some sort of conclusive, this is happening, this is where they are from. I just want to know, you know, because I feel like there's something out there. Now, hopefully we don't get like, all of us get murdered, but I don't know. It's just, I think they're among us. I really do. I'm going to be on my like X-Files, I want to believe BS right now, but like I really think that I don't know. I think that they're out there.
I'm with it. Well, I think we've reached the part in our show, Mr. Austin O'Connor, where I ask you what you're excited for. So what are you excited for?
What am I excited? I am excited to see you and your wife and several other people this weekend on Friday for my birthday. And we're going to go see some live music and have some beers. And
yeah, so what's the itinerary? I mean, what's the...
Oh, man. I don't know.
What are we going to do?
I think, we'll go get some dinner.
So you like to go... Okay, where are we going for dinner? What's the game?
Probably Black Sheep. Go on down to Black Sheep.
Good.
Yeah.
What about Summit? You want to go there? You like the Summit?
Go to Summit. That's my spot.
Are you still big into Union? Is that like a college kiddie thing?
Lord, no. Too old for that.
Too old for that. Okay. Too old for that.
But yeah, we'll go down, watch some music, and Huntington's got some good stuff going on now. Huntington is growing very, very well. Like, it's surprisingly quick, the things that are popping up and the things going on. And excited to see you all. I'm excited. I mean, no surprise for everything going on with Marvel right now. Loki has been insanely good to me. I don't know. I've heard conflicting reviews, but I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, I think it's great. I think so far it's my favorite of the shows that they...
I agree with that. I think it's opening up everything to happen. And I don't know. I'm excited because I've been able to travel a little lately, and I think that's had me a little more amped on life.
A little more amped up, a little more high on life.
Out. Yeah. I don't know. Those are things I'm excited. What are you excited for?
Well, I'm of course I'm excited to see you. I recently got back from a trip to Asheville, and so I am
wonderful place.
A wonderful place. Here's the thing: if you ever decide that you want to get married, and you of course have me in the bachelor party, and I am probably one of the more responsible and better at planning of your friends, and you have a bachelor party, I'm probably going to send us to Asheville. That's what's going to happen. Because
it's a great place. I would love to go there for a bachelor party.
It's so delightful. But while I was there, I went to this like converted auto shop that is essentially this like auto shop that they made sake there. And I'm a weirdo, and I make mead, and like that's like, why don't you brew beer or make wine like a normal person? And it's like, I don't want to be normal. Yeah. But I had some sake there, and I've been like a casual enjoyer of sake, but I had sake so good there that I was like, I'm gonna make some. It can't be that hard. So I'm pretty excited to get some medium grain rice and some of the yeast and nutrients, and do up another brew of some sake. I'm gonna have a sake one, and I'm gonna have a mead lavender situation I'm gonna work on.
Okay.
But see, here's the thing. Like, you get a brewery, like, people, like, it's just another brewery. It's just another thing. But if I had, like, I do sake and mead, people are going to be, like, people that are, like, stopping in town, they're going to be like, I want to go to the sake place. I want to go to the mead place because I've never had that before, and that sounds like fun. Yeah. I'm already planning this. Like, my wife is going to get so stinking rich that I'm just going to, like, quit my job and just make mead. And
this is your $1 million idea.
This is my million. It's like evolved into the $1 million idea. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like I could like make living wage. This is a living wage idea that I feel like. I
like it. I like that a
lot. So I'm ready for that. Particularly, okay. I'm ready. I'm gonna brew some sake. I need to order the. It's always like I should do that.
Yeah. But I think you should do it. I think you should go for it.
I will. I'll be.
Nice.
I'll let you know. Give it.
Yeah.
Give me 2 weeks to get the ingredients, and then give me like 3 months, and then you can taste it.
Okay.
You can taste the mead that I made from 3 years ago, which I offer to pretty much anyone who walks in the door because I'm trying to get rid of it because I have so much of it. It's a mess.
I like it.
I think that's all we have for today. So of course. You can check out the podcast everywhere. We're everywhere. We're on social media. Some of our stuff has changed. It's either at 6 Ways Podcast or on Twitch and stuff now. It's the numeral 6 ways, numeral 2, and Sunday. So we're getting everything changed over. If things haven't quite populated yet, if you're like looking at your artwork and your podcast stuff and you're like, it still says Vault Boys. Well, just give it a minute. Just give it a minute. Things are slow. You expect it's like I
we'll
expect
feed you baby birds
to be like so fast, but things are a little slow.
Al Gore's internet takes some time sometimes, and we're getting there.
Yeah, we'll get there. That's pretty much all I had, sir. You got anything else?
Not really. That's really it for me right now. Man, good to see you though.
It's good to see you.
Been a couple weeks. We're back though. We're back. We're getting there. Baby steps.
We're doing it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, from holler to highway, we've got you covered. 6 ways to Sunday.